Why was the soccer player substituted in the 13th second of the game? Or how the dog stole the soccer cleat during the match? Or how the referee added only 1 minute in the last moment in the 2022 World Cup? Yes, in football, you can witness a vast number of unusual episodes that seem to happen only once in a million. And it's these rare and unique football events that I'm going to talk about in this video. I kindly ask you to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and comment on a play that you think will never happen again. Well, now I wish you all a good video. Let's go. In the Estonian Championship game, an interesting episode occurred with one team. After a series of passes, the visiting team's goalkeeper kicked the ball out of the field, and then something incomprehensible happened. The head coach made a substitution and took a player off the field. This is very surprising because only 13 seconds had passed. What happened? Did the coach quickly realize his mistake in choosing the starting lineup? In reality, the reason was more complex. According to the new regulations of the Estonian Championship, each team is required to have 2 players on the field who are trained by the club. Due to non-compliance with this rule, football authorities promised to punish with a point deduction. For this reason, a 16-year-old player trained by the club had to enter the field from the first minutes. Once I showed how the ball burst during the game between Switzerland and France, but in that case, the ball simply didn't have a chance to come out unscathed, as both players managed to puncture it with their cleats. But on one occasion in the Bundesliga, the ball burst completely due to a powerful shot from a Bayern Munich player. He kicked it hard, and after hitting one of the Cologne defenders, it flew towards their penalty area cameras, which were exposed on the outside. Robben, unable to contain his laughter, picked up the ball and kicked it out of the field. Well, in life, this is quite common, but not in the professional world. Have you ever punctured a ball in your life? Comment below. We are all accustomed to the fact that in the past, Luis Suarez liked to bite his opponents. But have you ever seen such an act performed by any other football player? Well, in the game between Germany and France at Euro 2020, there was a similar and equally strange episode. German defender Antonio Ruediger grabbed Paul Pogba from behind on the field and appeared to try to bite him. Pogba screamed and asked the referee to pay attention to that moment. Although Ruediger received no punishment, it seemed like Dracula from Uruguay had possessed him. By the way, at the 2022 World Cup, Antonio also managed to stand out with an unusual gesture. At the 65th minute, the German was grappling with the Japanese forward on the sideline and suddenly began to run with his knees raised. Look at these movements by Ruediger that may seem quite funny from the side, but were actually very effective. In football, you rarely see goals scored from the center of the field, and if it does happen, it's at most a once-in-a-lifetime occurrence. However, something like this happened in a second division Japanese championship game, not once, but twice in a row. At the 61st minute of the game, a Japanese football player picked up the ball near the midfield and, noticing that the goalkeeper had left his area, kicked it with strength and precision, scoring the second goal for his team. But that's okay. The goalkeeper clearly drew conclusions and was going to stop playing in the style of Manuel Neuer. However, just a minute and a half later, the same thing happened again. The home team player picked up the ball in approximately the same position, looked at the goal, and shot with little force from midfield. The visiting goalkeeper lost his position, hesitated, and ended up letting the second goal through his net. 2 midfield goals in 2 minutes. This goalkeeper clearly didn't understand that he needed to learn from his mistakes. During a lower-level English football championship game, a player from the home team took a penalty kick but missed the shot, sending the ball well above the goal. So far, so good. But with his inaccurate shot, he ended up breaking a floodlight that was illuminating the field, causing it to fall into the stands. Fortunately, the fans emerged unscathed. Just look at this. Perhaps you have a question. Can a goal scored from a throw-in be valid? Of course, yes, because as we can see in the replay, the goalkeeper touched the ball before it entered the net, making it a valid goal according to the rules. You must have noticed that Romelu Lukaku is a master at scoring random goals. The ball simply gravitates toward him and he scores effortlessly. But once this magic didn't allow his team to win, because after a corner kick, Alexis Sanchez headed the ball forcefully towards Shakhtar's goal. Fortunately for Shakhtar, the Inter Milan striker ended up in the path of the ball and effectively saved the home team from a goal. Furthermore, the Belgian giant was in an offside position, which was immediately signalled by the assistant referee. Sanchez was clearly unhappy with his teammates' actions, immediately yelling at Lukaku after the offside position was confirmed. In a third division game, in terms of sheer audacity, we witnessed the strangest and most clumsy attempt at simulation in the history of football. When the player Robin Ramos saw that a fan had thrown a strange object onto the field, he didn't hesitate to pick it up and hit himself in the face with it, falling to the ground and pretending that it had been thrown at him by the opposing team's fans. The player writhed on the field and clearly hoped that the game would be interrupted, granting him another victory by default. Unfortunately for him, his acting skills were in vain because none of the referees saw the incident. However, Ramos apparently forgot that even in this lower league there are cameras on the field, and a week after the game, he was suspended for 6 months. Speaking of incidents involving animals on the field, in a game of the Bolivian Championship, a dog appeared on the field with a cleat in its mouth. The referee tried to remove the dog from the field, but it just frolicked in the grass. Then, player Ostrana asked the most important and interesting question: whose cleat did the dog steal? It was found that the cleat belonged to someone from the refereeing team, and the dog grabbed the item while it was off the field. By the way, this story had a happy ending. The next day, the dog was found in the city centre and taken to a shelter. Upon hearing about it, Castro, the player who escorted the dog off the field, said he would take it home. Back in 2009, during a game between Sunderland and Liverpool, the actions of a Reds fan almost cost his team a defeat. After a free kick, Derrenbaum scored a goal for Liverpool. The curious thing is that the ball ended up in the net thanks to a red balloon that was randomly flying around the stadium. What's most interesting is that Pepe Reina, the Liverpool goalkeeper, reacted to the inflatable balloon instead of the actual ball, which was still coming in his direction. Despite the players' protests, the goal was validated. In this frame, it's possible to see that a guy in a blue shirt threw the balloon towards the field, and the balloon was randomly floating through the stands until it found its hero. Ironically, this goal turned out to be the winning goal for Sunderland, but the current Liverpool goalkeeper, Alisson Becker, certainly would have found a solution in that situation. Sometimes the wind changes the trajectory of the ball. However, in 2016, weather conditions interfered in a match between Rubin and Ankar. Just imagine how strong the wind was to move the goalposts several meters. It was necessary to designate a special person to hold and control the goalposts. After the final whistle, while the players went to celebrate with the fans in the stands as a thank you for their support, they organized mass chants, accompanied by collective jumps in the stands. However, the structure couldn't withstand the load and collapsed. Fortunately, no one was injured, and the fans continued to sing. Football is a highly unpredictable and fascinating sport. That was today's video. Please comment on which of these plays you found most interesting. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more videos. That's it.